What's up, guys? It's Consistency here, and today I'm going to be talking about this week's football. So I'm just going to be talking about like the biggest games this week and the surprising scores of this week. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So the first game I'm going to talk about is the Manchester Derby. So I'm just glad I was right about my prediction. I said Man City would win. I was wrong about the score, but either way, they still won. So the game was just amazing. It's the best game I've seen in the Premier League for a while. Like just nothing competes with that. I'd say it's probably just as entertaining as like some other games on the continent. Um, I thought the game was good. The game really reminded me of El Clasico in the 2010-2011 season. And as a Madrid fan, I really don't want to think about it because Pep Guardiola just destroyed my Real Madrid like back then. But either way, the game was just as entertaining as that. And the flaws that Man United had in this game are pretty much the same flaws that Mourinho had with his Real Madrid that game. So, all in all, I think Man United did their best. Um, I don't really think they prepared well for this game. I mean, I think Guardiola, he's a more tactical coach. Mourinho is also tactical, but most of his tactics are pretty much defensive. Like he basically parks the bus. He has most of his team playing like in their own half of the field, and it doesn't really work for when you're playing against a manager like Guardiola. So I think Man United needed to press Manchester City more often because half the time Man City are just controlling possession, making plays, and Man United are just watching them. But they're not going out to get the ball. They're not closing down Man City's players, and if they do, they're not doing it well enough. And for the most part, that was first half. In the second half, they did change it. They did close down Man City's players, and we did see they had more chances, but honestly, it was too late for them to capitalize on any of those. Man City were already winning like by one goal, 2-1. Um, yeah, yeah. That's just basically what I think about the tactics of the game. Other than that, the goal from Kevin De Bruyne was just incredible. Like that was just a fantastic finish. It was a fantastic lob from or clearance from Kolarov too. Like that was just individual brilliance from Kevin De Bruyne, and he just destroyed like Man United in that instant. Um, the other goal, it was good work from Etienne Nacho, especially in Aguero's absence. Um, I think Man United should have been more aware of that because the ball, Man City shot the ball. I don't remember who exactly did it, but I remember it was a shot, and Etienne Nacho he was onside, and he just finished it. And it was probably the easiest goal of that game. Like Man United just need to wake up more. Yeah, I think Bailly should have been marking him. In my opinion, that's like when players come from like other leagues and defend, like particularly defenders, when they come to the Premier League, it's a different ball game from like La Liga, which is where Bailly came from. Um, I think he just had to just stay with his man right there. Because in the Premier League, you really have to do like one-on-one marking rather than like trying to shut down like a team's play. So yeah, I just think Bayern messed up in that instant. So yeah. Other than that, um, our on Man City side, I don't think it was a good idea to debut Bravo today because it's obvious. Like he came from a different league, he's on the top team, and he's he's debuting in a pretty big game, so and there are pretty good forwards that he'd have to like save shots from and all that. So he messed up, and that's the only reason Manu scored. It's a good goal from Ibra. He did capitalize on Bravo's mistake, but other than that, obviously Joe Hart probably wouldn't have made that mistake. But either way, those things happen. It's gonna take Bravo like some time to get used to the Premier League. In my opinion, I would have rather gone for Ter Stegen or another keeper. I've watched Barcelona because I watched La Liga. Um, Bravo's good, but he's not like up there with like Neuer, De Gea, or even Keylor Navas. Like he's a good keeper, but honestly, if I was gonna buy a keeper, he wouldn't be like my first choice. As for playing out from the back, yeah, he came from Barcelona and they do that a lot, but I just I just think they could have got a better keeper for that. If that was his main reason for getting rid of Joe Hart or putting him out alone and getting another keeper, I think I would have just gone for a different keeper. But all in all, it was a good game. It was very entertaining, and yeah. So done with the menu talk. Um, the other game that I predicted was Leicester and Liverpool, or Liverpool and Leicester. I think Liverpool was the home team this time, and they were in the new Anfield Stadium, or not new, not new, but like they expanded the capacity of how many fans can be there. But yeah, I predicted that Leicester would win because Liverpool's defense is kind of shaky, and Leicester destroys teams on counterattacks, and I was wrong. I'll just admit it. I was like super wrong. Liverpool beat them like 4-1, and the last goal was just completely embarrassing. Um, I think Schmeichel in that last goal, I think because Leicester was so far up the field, he felt it was okay for him to come up. So it's not like he just ran out of his box mindlessly. It's more because he was kind of in that area and he wanted to close down Mane like really quickly. But obviously he failed, and Liverpool countered like crazy and just scored on them. Other than that, Liverpool, like Lallana scored, Firmino scored two, and then Mane. So yeah, and Vardy scored against Liverpool. So that basically sums it up. I really didn't watch the full game. I just watched highlights. But either way, I think Leicester has some improving to do. Liverpool is kind of like in form right now, so they are kind of a tough team. Leicester did win the league last year, but I still think they're more of a, I'd say like a mid-range team in the Premier League. Like they're not up there with like Chelsea, Arsenal, Man U, and Man City, but I think they're like a decent team. But either way, I think they need to be more consistent. They do have Musa, and he's a good defender. I mean, a good midfielder, and he's a good replacement for Conte, which they sold to Chelsea. But yeah, I think Leicester can get some better form later on in the season. And yeah, other than that, in the Premier League, Arsenal, they got a tight win. Arsenal did win just with a last-minute penalty. I really don't know what to say. I think Arsenal are just mainly like a top four team. They did pretty good in their game, but they need to improve if they want to like win the league. Arsenal fans say it every year that they're gonna win, but honestly, it's probably not gonna happen. If anything, they should really just try and win the Champions League, because they win the FA Cup almost all the time, and they didn't win it last year. And other teams are getting up there. The Premier League, I really just don't think it's gonna happen for them. You could win like Capital One, but other than that, Arsenal's they're a quality team. Like they're better than like other teams like in Europe. So I think they really should just focus on going in the Champions League, because they never win the league, but they're always taking Champions League spots. So I just think they should just try and win something else. Because if they're gonna take Champions League spots all the time and keep just failing in it, I think they need to put more effort into it and just go and trying to get to the semifinal. If Man City can do it, Arsenal can do it. So that's just my opinion. Other than that, that's all I have to say about the Premier League is for today. I think Chelsea plays tomorrow, but that's another day, so I'm gonna do another video on that if I feel like it. But anyway, I thought it was a pretty good game. I think Chelsea probably should have won. They did get scored on by their own mistakes. Other than that, I think Diego Costa outdid himself today. He scored two good goals. Like one was on outside or on top of the box, and he scored like through like a bunch of players, so that was good for him. His second goal was like a bicycle kick to win the game, so good job for Diego Costa. There was a point in the match where Swansea was up 2-1 because first, again, Courtois made a mistake. He came out of his goal, he didn't get the ball, he got the player, and he's lucky just to receive the yellow card for that. And
it was a penalty in my opinion. So he did get the player, not the ball, and it was a penalty. So yeah, just like last season, the only difference in this game was that he didn't get a red card. So I think Chelsea should fix that problem. The other problem was also at the back. Cahill. I have no problem with playing out from the back and defenders holding the ball, but if you're gonna do that, you need to be smart about it, and Cahill really wasn't. So he held up the ball. I did watch the highlights, and honestly, it was a foul because the forward did clip him in the back of his foot. Other than that, yeah, it probably should have been a foul, but either way, if you have the ball like that, you should just give it right back to Terry in that moment, or give it to your keeper to get out of danger. But he did none of those, and unfortunately, the ref didn't see it as a foul, and they got scored on. So Chelsea just need to work on those problems. I think David Luiz would probably be better to use instead of Cahill. I know Luiz isn't the best defender in terms of the Premier League. He's not that great at defending, as we've seen before, as he was at Chelsea already. But he is better at playing out from the back than Cahill is, and he's more likely to get a foul if someone does come at him like that. So I think he might be a better option for playing out from the back. And his defensive qualities probably could change if they work on it. So either way, I think it was a pretty good game. Chelsea should have done better because both goals came from their own mistakes, and if they didn't make those mistakes, Swansea would have lost the game, and Chelsea could have won 2-0. So either way, the next game is against Liverpool. I honestly don't know who's gonna win. I was at their International Cup game, and it was kind of boring to me. I'm not gonna lie, but Chelsea did win, but that was only from a set piece. So it's gonna be interesting who's gonna win that game. But either way, Chelsea had a good game today. Fortunately, they didn't get the 3 points, but they did pretty well. They just need to fix their issues. So anyway, thanks for watching, and this concludes my Premier League review for this week. And see you guys next week.